Another episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Rainu Aurora. I am an energy healer. I am the creator of a healing modality called the Accelerated Release Technique, and I'm also the author of a book called the Energy Healing Bible. And why am I here? I'm here because I'm on a mission. My mission is to help other energy healers like yourselves to be able to live your life's purpose. That purpose being to help as many people as possible, to use your gifts to really affect change and heal the world. I want to help you do that. And at the same time, not have you being broke in the process. Because let's face it, energy healers don't have the clout or the cachet as maybe a medical doctor or your physiotherapist or your massage therapist or anything of that nature, but you do incredible work. You work miracles. I know this. You know this. So, like I said, my mission is to help you get all the tools, whether it's mindset tools or knowledge or whatever it is, to become successful to do what you are meant to be doing. Now, today's topic is near and dear to my heart these days. It's something I didn't really understand for the longest time, but now I've got a newfound appreciation, and the topic is forgiveness. Big question. Is forgiveness really that important? I mean, we talk about, oh, you have to forgive in order to be able to move on and all that kind of stuff. And what I've discovered is, oh boy, is it ever. It really, really, really is important in order to heal. And I mean, I'm talking from an energy healing perspective. I work with the subconscious. I work with all the stuff that's deep down and buried. And it's important. The way it works is you have to access the stuff to be able to heal it. You have to find it so that you can let it go. And when I say buried, well, I gotta follow the trail and dig up what I need to do to be able to find the hurt, the trauma, the pain, the whatever it happens to be. So so forgiveness for the longest time wasn't really a thing. It was pretty easy for me. You've got this issue. Let's track it to this life event. Life event goes, and you're good to go. But over time, I've discovered lots of new stuff, and I'm going to share a bit of that with you today. My first thing about forgiveness is there's a brilliant, it's actually my favorite phrase or saying. And the opposite of forgiveness, like if you're not forgiving, that means you're holding on to resentment, right? To hold on to resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. I love that phrase because it is so true. If you are unwilling or unable to forgive somebody, you're the one who's not letting go. You're holding on to old baggage. And that other person might have forgotten it, might not have even known that you were angry, or whatever it happens to be. And they're moving on with their merry old lives. But you are the one that is stewing and in pain and feeling that anger and resentment and betrayal and hurt and whatever those emotions are. If we cannot forgive, we are literally only hurting ourselves. Now, that makes a lot of sense, just sort of intellectually. I want to dive deep and talk about the spiritually, like energetically. And the best way for me to explain this is actually, so very recently, I'm actually going to be being lifting the curtain on ART a little bit. Spirit guides. Spirit guides are a phenomenal, like they have now come into my work in the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. And they are playing a rather large role, I've discovered. And um I probably need to explain a little bit about spirit guides first before I really explain. So we probably all heard of the concept of spirit guides. That we've got our team. We've got our support team. And everybody has spirit guides. You also have guardian angels. So guardian angels are literally angels. They're pure divine healing, all that good stuff. Like you can't go wrong talking to guardian angels. Spirit guides are a little different. So many of us will say, "Oh, I feel my grandmother's presence, or I feel my best friend who passed away. I know that they're with me, or my dad, or my whatever." Yeah, they're there. Like if you sense they're with you, then 1,000% that would tell me that they are there with you. They have a taken up residence as one of your guides. But we have lots of guides. We have I don't know. I seem to the average, literally, I ask, is around 30 or so. Like we have a whole team with us. And so it's not necessarily just the ones you know and remember. It could be ones you don't know, that you haven't met in this lifetime. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. The idea is your spirit guides are kind of, I say it's like you are journeying along with your class. All right. So your job here on earth is to learn, is to grow, is to evolve as a spirit, right? You're a spiritual being in a physical suitcase. You have no other job on earth except to evolve because there's nothing you're going to take with you, right? It's just your soul going from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And you can't evolve, learn, grow in a vacuum, right? You literally can't do it all by yourself. You need to do it with other people. Like I can't, for one, learn about forgiveness if nobody ever wrongs me. I can't learn about guilt if I never wrong anybody else, right? So everything, all the learnings are done in in the context of other people. So we have to do this together. We do experience and get all our learnings together. So if you're evolving and you need other people, it's like the universe has said, okay, well let's put a bunch of souls together, some individual spirits together, and they are your soul tribe, and they're all going to learn in a group. So you're going to keep going from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime together. So each time around, you take on different roles. Maybe you're your mother and son one year or one lifetime. Maybe you are grandparent, grandchild. Maybe your husband, wife. Maybe like it can be anything, or best friends, or neighbors, or whatever. Um, so that's sort of setting it up. But the real kicker here is your guides were alive, right? They were human. Um, and so the way it works is we all take a turn as guides. So when you're on Earth, you're a human being, but when you pass away, you take a turn as one of the guides. Like you're guiding somebody or some like whoever else is in your cohort. So it's not necessarily one for one. Um, so now you've got your guides in the spirit world. And then when you pass away, you'll become a guide for somebody else. And it just sort of cycles through like that. But they were human. So just because they pass away doesn't mean they're suddenly fully evolved. No, they are just spirits without a body. They've still got their hangups. They've still got their grudges. They've still got all the stuff that they had on Earth didn't magically go away. They could still be really mean. They could still really have issues. So it's kind of funny. So now when they're in spirit, they're actually um now it's like it's our turn to heal along with them. So we're doing all our healing is actually influenced by the baggage that our guides are carrying. So I know this is really kind of complicated and it might sound like it got off topic, but I have to set that up so I can explain where I'm going next. So it's all about the baggage. So what I have found is that when I am doing some healing with somebody, a spirit guide will sometimes pop in. I'll be trying to work on a particular issue with somebody, and I'll go through. I have a series of questions like what is the underlying issue, and a care and there will be a question in there which is saying, okay, are all your spirit guides okay with us healing this issue? And more often than you might think, I get no. No, there's a spirit guide that really doesn't is not ready for this issue to be resolved, for this healing to happen. And very often, this guide is apologizing to us, asking for forgiveness. So let's say it was your mom who was really a piece of work when she was alive, and you were so angry at her, and she's passed away, and you're like, I'm still angry at her. I'm still angry. Well, that anger that anger is a lot of stuck energy, right? There's a whole lot of stuff you're holding on to in there. Um, until if they've apologized, if they're saying, okay, I want to forgive, like I'm asking for forgiveness, will you forgive me? And you are unable to forgive, well, that means you've got a whole pile of stuff. You've got stuck energy that you can't access. Because what does happen, so let's say it's a guide you, and this is actually very, very common. A guide, you have no idea who it is. Something happened between you and this spirit 2 lifetimes ago. Like there's no connection. You've like no names, no whatever, no relationship that you're aware of. It's like some random stranger says, "Hey, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?" You'll go, "Sure. Yeah, okay." Them asking you for forgiveness allows them to release whatever emotional trauma, angst, or whatever that they're dealing with, right? But when you forgive them, you are now, and this is what happens once you forgive somebody, it's like all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of stuff you have access to that we couldn't heal before. Like I said, it's about having access. It's about finding the buried stuff and digging it up and letting it go. So I find the second my client says, "Yeah, okay, I can forgive that person," it's like this layer, this um concrete layer just melted away, and oh, look at that. There's some healing that needs to take place. There's something that I can now work on and heal and improve. And once we do that, the problem gets to resolve. Whereas before we did that, we were like beating our heads against a wall because that problem wouldn't go away. So sometimes it's honestly a random spirit guide who you don't even know what the issue is, but sometimes it's somebody you know. And we have to work to allow ourselves to forgive that other person so that we can then energetically heal, so that we can actually get to the real underlying hurt. Because the lack of forgiveness, that's anger. That's just anger that needs to be removed, because it's the reason you couldn't forgive, the lack of self-worth, the embarrassment, whatever it happens to be. You can't even go there until you allow yourself to be in a position of saying, okay, I'm ready to let this go. I cut the ties with that person so I can now heal what's underneath. I can heal my story. Um, and super quick, because we're a little over my usual time. Same thing works with apologizing, right? So sometimes it's about forgiveness, and the other times it's about you're the one who did the wrong thing. So you have to be willing to apologize. Even if it is, again, in spirit, it's really easy. In person, it's a little more difficult. But you will sometimes have spirits who are asking you, they're saying, no, you know what? I'm mad at you. I need an apology. And once you apologize, again, actually, it's not even once you apologize. It's more if you can't apologize, then that's significant because that says you're still holding on to shame or embarrassment or something like that, where or pride, which are all stuck energies which need to be let go of because they are not serving you. They mean you are tying yourself to that old story. So, food for thought. But if you are a healer, which because you're hanging out here, I'm sure, I'm sure this is resonating with you. You can't paper over forgiveness. It's always going to come. Like I said, I spent years thinking that it was just about you and about you getting rid of your stuff. But those connections to other people, forgiveness and lack of apology and all that stuff are holding on to other people's energy, holding yourself attached to somebody else's story. And if you are stuck in someone else's story, then you can't actually heal yourself. You need to detach so that now you can get to your own healing. All right. If that was kind of interesting, because honestly, I think working spirit guides are a trip. There is so much more to learn about working with spirit guides. It's kind of wild. And if you'd love to know more about that, or if there's any other way that I can help you achieve your goal, like I said, of helping others, then please reach out to me. Visit my website, acceleratedreleasetechnique.org, or come back and see me next Friday. See you soon.